Hi, I'm Jess Pryles. I'm a hardcore carnivore, I love eating meat. And more than that, I write a blog called Burger Mary, which is burgers and Bloody Marys. But my real love is barbecue. We're here today in Port Macquarie for what has turned out to be Australia's largest barbecue competition to date. That's a big deal. It's exciting for me as somebody who loves barbecue, and it's also really exciting to watch the evolution of barbecue culture in Australia. So here in Australia, it's going to be a little different to what you're used to seeing at American competitions. The cuts are different here. Australian bacon, it's not like American bacon. Our brisket, slightly different to an American packer cut. And more than that, our pork shoulder is also a little different to a Boston butt as well. Really what we're trying to do is define Australian barbecue with this competition. Let's take the style of low and slow, use Australian produce and typical ingredients, and let's make something that's our own. One of the things we have is the beef competition. Now that's open to whatever cut the competitors want to put in. These guys are doing beef ribs. These are beef short ribs. And as you can see, you guys are finishing off what the butcher did, huh?
Yeah, certainly.
So what's the advantage of trimming off the back here?
Let the flavour and the smoke get right in there, and definitely from both sides.
Very good.
And there's no sinew on top.
Because sinew gets all tough and chewy?
Yeah, chewy.
We don't like
chewy.
that. No.
It's got to be straight up.
All right, well good luck. Don't cut anything except the meat, all right?
You got it.
Right, Hillbilly West, he's preparing a pork shoulder. This is what's going to be most commonly used when you get pulled pork as well. In the States, they use what we call a Boston butt, which is actually from the neck. But the shoulder in Australia, it's got the bone in, it's got a little bit of the neck in there, and it's altogether actually a larger piece. So it looks a bit sensual, but it'll come out tasting great. All right, in a category all its own, pork ribs. They're kind of a big deal in barbecue. These guys are Southside smokers. They've competed at the Jack in America. It's a really prestigious competition. I've had their porchetta, it's amazing. But today, you guys are doing pork ribs. What kind of pork ribs do we have?
We've got spare ribs.
All right, so the spare is different from the baby back, which is a different cut altogether. And you're also taking the membrane off?
Yep.
All right, any tips for the rubs, you guys?
We're going with a little bit of honey powder, some smoked paprika, garlic powder, and onion powder.
All right, and lots of taste testing, right?
Definitely, yeah. We had a big bash last week in Melbourne, so we got the thumbs up with our ribs. So we're going to give it a crack tomorrow.
I'm hanging out with the men from Southern Boys Barbecue, and not Southern because we're in the Southern Hemisphere, but Southern because they're from Alabama and Memphis respectively. You'll hear the accents. But here's something they're doing that's really cool I haven't seen before. That is a really, really thin piece of chicken skin. Now, what's going to happen here?
So what we've done is we've actually taken all of the fat and the membrane off of the chicken thigh skin, and we're gonna brine the chicken overnight and then rewrap the polished up skin over the top of it and smoke it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what are we brining in?
Brining
Top
in,
secret?
Sort of. It's from Italy. It's Italian dressing.
I told them that last night. No one would believe me that people use Italian dressing on ribs, but there you go. In Kentucky, they do mutton. In Australia, we do lamb. This guy here, this is a real South American style of cooking. You splay the animal open, put it in front of an open fire, and cook it for hours and hours until you get crispy skin, tender meat. Kind of looks like an extra from Game of Thrones though. It's always a pleasure for me to run across someone from Texas. This is Rick, he's from a place called Wimberley, which is just outside of Austin in the Hill Country. Now, right now they're prepping pork ribs. I know they've got brisket coming later, but since you are American and of course Adam has experience with American barbecue, what do you think that some of the challenges are to doing that style in Australia?
Getting the cuts of meat.
Yeah, the
that match
hardest,
America.
the hardest
Hard.
thing here for the Australians is to get the cut of meat we have in the States, like in Texas. The ribs, they tend to trim all the meat off the top for bacon and stuff. So in the States, when you get ribs, they're cut different, they're thicker, a different grade. If you get in with a good butcher that'll work with you in Australia, we've got in with a couple of them over here. Oh, they're really trying to work with you hard.
Okay. So how are you feeling about the lamb category? Is that something that excites you to try a typically Aussie ingredient with all of the knowledge you have about offset smoking?
Adam and I and Gus, we've all been, we've cut lamb, pork, beef. Since I've been over here, we've tried a little bit of everything, kind of getting everything used to their way of doing it, my way of doing it.
All right, now here's the big thing. No post oak in Australia.
No.
So what are we using?
We can't tell you that.
All right, see, this is the thing, and I'm surprised that I'm not hearing this more often today. Big secrets like rubs, like the type of wood, that's the stuff that makes a winning dish or not. And so most people want to keep it under wraps, but I'm gonna work on these guys and see if I can get some more info.
That's going to be hard to do.
All right, this is Matt. Now, Matt, pit boss, self-titled?
Yes.
And why do you think you deserve the title?
I'm the only one on this team that knows what's going on.
Well, the answer is you're damn good at what you do. That should have been the answer. But you've just put a brisket in?
Yeah.
Can we have a quick look at it?
Yeah, got a brisket, a belly.
Woo! So this is the brisket here.
Yeah, that's your brisket.
All right, so it's a little bit different. In Texas, that would just be salt and pepper, but we got a wet rub on here, huh? What's in it?
Worcestershire sauce, Tabasco, garlic, chili.
The smell is unbelievable. It's like a whole farmyard in here. It's really exciting.
We've got dinner.
All right, how many hours will this go for?
At least 12.
All right, well, I'm going to let you put the lid down and not lose any more heat, and good luck.
Thank you.
So I personally came over here to admire this magnificent apron. What you guys can't see is the magnificent team name on the shirt underneath this apron, which is?
The Pork Swords.
The Pork Swords. Now, it's apropos that the Pork Swords are therefore doing
Pork.
pork loin. We've got tenderloin here.
We have pork tenderloin here. We have pork ribs marinating in here. We've also got a bit more pork on the barbecue behind us.
Is that just for snacking?
Oh, that's for snacking. We've got a bit of snacking going on.
Very good. And what's going to happen with this tenderloin?
The loin's going to have a little bit of a dry rub put on it. We'll seal it off and then we'll just set it aside at about 60 degrees all night. And then we'll just let it slowly go until about 10 tomorrow morning. And then pull it off, have a look at it, give it a poke, let it rest, and then we'll slice it off and give it to the judges.
There's no point smoking all day for all those hours if you don't get to eat it yourself. So the smart thing to do, keep an extra pit handy, make yourself dinner. All right, I like to think I know everything, but every now and again I see something and have no idea what it is, like this. Jess, what is this?
This is a Karubicue. It's a stick burner, but what makes it unique is the valves let you choose the top smoke or the bottom smoke. The bottom smoke gets sucked through the cold bed. So
there are coals at the bottom here.
there is when it's going, absolutely.
All right, and that's to act like a filter?
Exactly. It burns off any volatiles in the smoke.
Yep.
So it gets rid of the nasties like creosote. We don't want creosote on our food.
Well, thanks for showing me. It's really cool to learn about new things.
My pleasure.
I'm here with Ben and Ash. They're from the meeting place. Now, I reckon their campsite is the Crocodile Dundee themed competition set up here. What really caught my eye are these amazing keg cookers. So what's the deal, guys? You make them?
Yeah, that's right. We just acquire them from down the street and we make them into our rotisserie cookers, and which cook a famous beef and pork.
And they hold the heat well?
They do. We put the coals inside this one. This one has a coal tray that we can take in and out.
Uh-huh.
This bad boy is the flat pack of the
IKEA.
species.
I feel like if Ned Kelly was still here, this might be his new version of armour.
He'll be with us.
But I'm sending you my address and my birthday and, one in the mail. Nice. All right, I'm here with Vijay from Zippers Low and Slow. Now, you're from Maine.
Yes.
How did you get into barbecue?
I was here in 2004 and I read an article about barbecue and really wish I had gotten more barbecue growing up, but it's really not in Maine at all. So it's actually pretty exciting that it's starting here.
So you got into barbecue in Australia?
Yes.
That's an excellent story.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about these sort of competitions?
I think it's great. I didn't know there were competitions in Australia. It's good to be here.
Good. And so lamb, a fan or no?
Yes, very much so.
Did you eat it growing up?
Very rarely. Like 3 times. And only at fancy restaurants.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what the guys come up with here because I think it's a cut that's perfect for the smoker. All right, I've stumbled across Mitch, and here's the thing. Now, you're an anaesthetist. Help me out here.
An anaesthetist?
It's not an anesthesiologist?
Not in Australia, no.
Is that an American version?
It is, yeah.
Right. He's very important in a hospital. And what are you most looking forward to cooking?
The brisket that we got, probably.
Is that your speciality?
Oh, not so much. I'm a bit hit and miss with the brisket, but
I like
we
that
found
spirit.
No, we found a special, extra good quality brisket.
All right, this magnificent unit here, this is a Silver Creek smoker, and this is the man who's responsible for him. This is Paul, and he's pretty much single-handedly the first person to build such amazing quality pits in Australia. So how did you get into it?
Basically, I think barbecuing from a young age, was always using wood, charcoal, and never sort of the gas side of things, and doing the smoked speck and the cranksy sausage. This is when I was a kid. So I built myself a small little pit for myself. Went from there and I built a big trailer pit.
Oh, he has this thing called Jack the Ripper. It's unbelievable. I think it's the biggest pit trailer in the Southern Hemisphere, possibly, definitely in Australia. So what makes the Silver Creek smoker a superior model?
Oh, look, they're all hand built by myself. All of it by me.
So literally it could be his blood and sweat and tears coming to you.
There's a bit of blood, a bit of sweat, and the odd time a bit of tear.
I think that's seasoning.
Definite seasoning.
This strange looking contraption here, this is Smoke King Barbecue's setup. This is a Kamado. It's actually a ceramic cooker, like you can see back here. They call them big green eggs in the States. Charcoal goes at the bottom, heat makes its way gently up top. They hold heat really well too. Lamb shoulders for the lamb category tomorrow. Smells really good. So here's the thing, it's nighttime now and I don't know if you can hear or see, but the guys are just having a party and that's what makes these competitions so cool. It's friends and wives and husbands and mates and dads and they're just all having a really good time. They're standing there, they're tending their pits, they're looking at what other people are doing, but it's kind of just a really big party in here and that's really awesome. Barbecue is totally a matter of respecting the meat that you're working with, understanding the cuts, trimming the meat right, working out which woods you should use and which flavourings you should use. But most of all, it's not easy. It's not easy to produce great barbecue, and that's one of the challenges of why it becomes a competition. Sun's out, it's game day. Competition is on, it smells great, teams are ready to set up. Let's see what they can do. fires are turning into embers and the teams are starting to chill out, and the first Port Macquarie Australian Barbecue Championships is finally done. The teams have done such an amazing effort. They've put up some really stellar stuff. And if this is the level they're at now, can't wait to see where it's going.